Hey, welcome back to the Gospel Music Training Center. JP here. Jonathan Powell, thanks for tuning in to another video tutorial. Today we're going to be covering chords and progressions that relate to the song entitled, I Will Trust. Now, this song is very simple. The chords and progressions, they're not very complicated. The style is very similar to like a mixture of slow contemporary as well as CCM, kind of a rock vibe. So you're going to be able to get two different perspectives. This is not one of those take two type of lessons where I have to get into, okay, take one, this is the left hand bass, right hand chords, and take two, we're going to get into the two hand chord voicings. It's not that type of song. For the most part, the chords are very, very simple. So we're going to break this down. We're going to be in the key of G flat major. Let's check out the scale in the number system. So G flat is the 1. A flat is the 2. B flat is the 3. Now, technically, we would call this B C flat because you got to keep everything in alphabetical order when you're talking about, the different scales and everything. So it wouldn't go G, A, B, B again. You would have to say C. But we have to say G flat, A flat, B flat, and then C flat. But instead of calling this C flat, we're going to call this B. And this is the 4. Okay? So now we're on the 5, D flat. The 6 is E flat. The 7 is F. And then we're back at the 1. So the opening chord progressions are going to be from the 6th tone to the 4, to the 2, to the 7. I really love these chords, and they can be played for worship, especially with a nice pad. So what I'm doing is on the 6th tone, I have E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. In the right hand, I have G flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. So this is like a minor chord on the 6th tone. It's almost like you're playing a G flat major add 9, but it's really like you're playing an E flat minor 7 chord, and then we're adding the 4, which is A flat. So this is an E flat minor 7. And then the only other note that we're adding is this A flat right here. But how it's voiced is spread out like this, and it sounds really good. So once again, that's E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. And then G flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat in the right. So that's the 6th tone. So from here, what we're going to do is go to the 4. I really love this thick, this pure sound. So what I have is B, G flat, and D flat in the left hand. And you can also play, if you can make the stretch, it's a real big stretch. I got B, G flat, D flat, and E flat in the left. Or you can let the right hand take care of that E flat. So the right hand, we have E flat, G flat, and E flat. Now this is a voicing of a B major add 9. Okay? So it's voiced though, like real nice. So that's from the 6 to the 4. Now we're going to go to the 2. So in the 2, what I have is an A flat minor 7 chord. So I have A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand, and then B in the right. Almost like playing a B major chord over A flat, pretty much the same thing as an A flat minor 7. And then we're going to go to the 7, which is F. So I have F and D flat in the left hand. In the right hand, we have E flat, A flat, and D flat. So this is a chord progression that you could use for worship. You can play it high. This is something that you can repeat over and over. Just nice worship chord. Oops, not that other chord. That was ugly. Okay, just that chord progression is nice. From the 6 to the 4, I just changed the voicing to the 2 to the 7. Okay? But that's the intro from the 6, 4, 2, and it stops right here. And now we're going to go to the 1. So I'm going to go from the top so you won't be confused and show you how we transition into the next part. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and from the 6 to the 4 to the 2 to the 7. Now we're going to go to the 1. Then to the 2 to the 6 to the 5. Okay? So that's the first chord progression. 1, 2, 6, 5. Okay, so the first chord that we have on the 1, we have G flat and D flat in the left hand. And then in the right hand, I have G flat, A flat, B flat, and D flat. And I feel like I need to turn this keyboard up a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so that's the 1. G flat, D flat in the left hand, G flat, A flat, B flat, and D flat in the right. So from here, we're going to go to the 2. So on the 2, what I have is A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand, and then B in the right. Okay? So we got a G flat major, add 9 on the 1, and A flat minor, 7 chord on the 2. Now we're going to go to that same chord that we did on the 6th tone from the intro. Okay? We have E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand, and then G flat, A flat, and D flat. So this is based off a 6th tone with a minor chord, like an E flat minor 7, with the added 4 or added 11. And then we go to the 5 with a D flat major chord. So D flat, A flat, and D flat in the left hand. And then F, A flat, and D flat. Now keep in mind, when it comes down to playing in church and different parts of the worship service, just remember that you can always play around with these chords in this particular key. So we got the 1 covered, to the 2, to the 6, to the 7. I'm sorry, to the 5. Okay? So let's go back from the top. Here we go. 1, 2, from the intro. From the 6 to the 4 to the 2 to the 7. All right, so here we are on the first chord. 1, 2, 6, 5. Now we do it again. From the 1 to the 2 to the 6 to the 5. Now, only thing, with these particular chords, you can actually change up the voicing slightly as long as it's very mellow and very calm sounding. You don't want to be like, you want to play very gently. So when I went from the 1 and then to the 2, instead of playing what I showed you, which is A flat, E flat, G flat, and B, I added a couple more notes. I played D flat and G flat, a part of the chord. So I have A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand, and then B, D flat, and G flat. So the second time around, you don't necessarily have to do this, but this is another option of a chord voicing that you can play on the 2. So when we went from the 1 and then to the 2 right here, this is another voicing. And then when we went to the 6, here's another voicing on the 6, the same one from the intro. E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand, G flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat in the right. Okay? And now we're going to the 5. I'll just spread the chords out just slightly, a little bit more. So I have D flat, A flat, and D flat in the left hand. And then F, A flat, D flat, and F. Okay? So now we're going to go to the 4. So pretty much we do the same chord progression twice. So this is the first time. 1, 2, 3, and we go from the 1, 1, when the singer starts to sing, to the 2, to the 6, to the 5. Then we do the same chord progression again. 1, to the 2, to the 6, to the 5. Now we're going to do a different change. From the 4 to the 3 to the flat 6. Okay? So we're going from the 4 to the 3. Okay? So on the 4, what I have is B and E flat in the left hand, and then G flat, A flat, and D flat in the right. So that's the B bass, the 4. Then we go to the 3. Okay? If you want to, you can keep the G flat on top for both of the chords on the 4 and the 3. It's up to you. Or you can leave it off and just play B and E flat in the left hand, G flat, A flat, D flat. That's the 4. Then to the 3. B flat and D flat in the left hand, and then G flat, A flat, and D flat in the right. So from here, we're going to go to the flat 6. So on this chord, we have D, A flat, and B in the left hand. In the right hand, I have D, F, and B flat. That's on the flat 6. This is a nice chord that you can use before you go to the 6 minor in the key of G flat. So you play the chord, then you keep the melody going. B, B flat, A flat. Or you can just play the chord, then go to the 6th of them. So pretty much we're going from the flat 6 to the 6. And I've showed you this chord a few times. We're back at the 6 and we got that E flat minor 7 with the added 11. So we got E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. And then G flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Or you can say added 4. It's up to you. So we went from the 4 to the 3. And here's that change. Okay? So now we're going to go to the 2. And before we get there, you can play A flat to A flat and F to G flat and E flat. So, and then play the chord on the 2. So on the 2, what we have is a lot of the same chords that you've already seen. If you haven't heard me say this before, when you go to certain tones within a certain style, a lot of times you're going to go to a specific type of chord. In this case, if you've been paying attention, every time we go to the A flat, we're playing a minor chord on the A flat, the A flat minor 7. Okay? So what I have is A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand. And then B and G flat in the right. Now you can also play the D flat too if you want to. You can play A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand. Now on the right, you can play B, D flat. That's the added note in G flat. Okay? And now we're going to go to the 3. So on the 3, the same chord that I've showed you before. B flat, D flat, and G flat in the left hand. And then A flat, D flat, and G flat. So let's go back. I'm going to go from the top. 1, 2, from the intro. 3, 4, from the 6 to the 4 to the 2 to the 7. Here we are at the top on the 1. 1, 2, 6, 5. Back to the 1. 1, 2, 6. I almost lost it. 5. And here's the other change that we just did. From the 4 to the 3. And here's that flat 6 to the 6. Okay, and then to the 2. This is what we just did. And now we're going to go to the 5. So on the 5, what we have is D flat in the left hand. Or you can play D flat, A flat, and D flat. You don't necessarily have to play that D flat in the middle. It's up to you. So you can play a D flat octave in the left hand. Or you can play a D flat power chord, which is the D flat, the A flat, and D flat. Totally up to you. But the right hand, we got D, G flat, A flat, and D flat. So once you play the chord, you can roll it to the right. Just roll it. And then come down B, B flat, A flat, like that. So, okay? So now the next part that we're going to go to is we're going to hit the 6 to the 4 to the 5 to the flat 6 to the 6. Okay, let's cover that much. So the first chord that we have is on the 6. I have E flat, G flat, and E flat, B flat, and G flat in the left hand. Right hand, B flat, E flat, and G flat. Okay? And then we play this. So hit the chord on the 6th tone, and then play this little fill in, which is G flat to B flat. So now we're gonna go to the B, which is the 4, and I love this little fill. Okay, so I got B, F, and A flat in the left hand. And then in the right hand, D flat, F, and A flat. And I'm using E flat as a grace note, but I'm actually sliding. Or you can just hit the E flat as a grace note. Or slide up to the F. But we got 2 chords on the 4. So 2 chords on the 4. So the second chord is B and E flat and G flat in the left hand. In the right hand, B and E flat. So, and then we go to the 5. So in the 5, what I have is D flat, B flat, and D flat. Wait. That didn't sound right. D flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. Sorry about the confusion. G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat in the right. Then we go to the flat 6. So now I have D and B in the left hand, and then A flat, B, D, F, and A flat in the right. And then that takes us to the 6th tone. So in the 6th tone, what we have is E flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. Right hand, G flat, A flat, B flat, D flat, E flat, G flat. So far what we have is the 6th tone. And to the 4, to the 5, to the flat 6, to the 6. One more time. From the 6. 1, 2, 3, and from the 6 to the 4, to the 5, to the flat 6, to the 6th tone. Now we're gonna go to the flat 2. So in the flat 2, what I have is G and E flat in the left hand, and then F, G, B flat, and E flat in the right. Then that takes us to the 2. So in the 2, what I have is A flat and E flat in the left hand. And then in the right hand, G flat, B, D flat, and G flat. So from the 6th tone, to the 4, to the 5, to the flat 6, to the 6, to the flat 2, to the 2. Oops. And then 5, flat 6, 6. Okay, so let's look at that one more time. So we're going to go from the 6 to the 4, to the 5, to the flat 6, to the 6, to the flat 2, to the 2. Now this is really the voicing that I will use on the 2 right here. I got A flat, E flat, and G flat in the left hand, and then B, D flat, E flat, G flat, and B. And then we go 5, flat 6. Okay? So I'll show you a couple ways that you can play it. So we got D flat, G flat, and B flat in both hands. Or you can make it thick and play D flat, B flat, and D flat in the left hand. And then B flat, D flat, G flat, and B flat. Now the next chord that we're gonna go to is the flat 6. We got D and B in the left hand, and then A flat, B, D, F, and A flat. That's coming from this voicing. So that's the 5 to the flat 6. Now, if you were higher, you would go to this voicing on the flat 6. So I got D, F, and A flat in the left hand, and then B, D, F, and A flat in the right. Okay? So far, it's like this. And then I'm going to keep going because after you do the first round, it repeats again. So we got the 6 to the 4 to the 5 to the flat 6 to the 6 to the flat 2 to the 2 to the 5 flat 6, and then we're back at the 6 to the 4 5 to the flat 6 to the 6 to the flat 2 to the 2, and it builds up on the 5. Okay? So on the 5, we got D flat, and on the right hand, we got B, D, E flat, G flat, and B flat. Or you don't necessarily have to play the B, but I like the B better. And then you resolve it. And we have A flat, D flat, E flat, F, and A flat. So this is like a D flat 13 with a sus 11. And then you resolve it on the D flat major at 9. Or just a regular D flat major. Okay, and that takes us to the next part. So one more time from this. So same thing again from the 6 to the 4 to the 5 to the flat 6 to the 6 to the flat 2 to the 2, and we build up right here.